Hey everyone, welcome back to the Show Boys podcast. I'm Pixel Nick, and joining me tonight is Chadwick the Third. Chad, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm doing great. We are here. We are back after a week off, um, which I think was okay. These two episodes fit well together. But we're talking about House of the Dragon season 3, episode 5 and 6, Unbowed and Unbent, and Faceless Men. Um, Very, very solid mid-season episodes here for entries. I enjoyed them. Definitely on the slower side in episode 5, but I watched the house that dragons built just now before it, so I always appreciate that because it gives you tons of behind the scenes stuff to
Yeah.
kind of feed off of, and it really kind of they said a few things I'll share about episode 5 that really kind of fit it all together for me. But of course, episode 6 was a really good episode in my opinion. How about
Yeah.
you?
I kind of just mildly disagree with you on episode 5. I don't think it was slow. I think a lot of big things happened in it. I think we got a lot of a couple predictions that we made came true in it. I was like watching, I was like, man, this is kind of like there's a lot of crap going on in here.
Yeah, yeah,
um, but yeah, I would agree that 6 is definitely much better, and finally something happened that I've just been waiting for so long to happen. And we'll get to it eventually, but I'm a little bummed the way that it panned out. I was hoping for something, we talked about it last episode. When we get to it, we'll get to it. But
yeah.
yeah, very good episodes, lots of Hallis intrigue. Definitely lower on the action, but there's a lot going on, and especially this storyline of the gold cloaks I just find so intriguing, and the way that it ends in episode 5, I was like, whoa, dude, like what is going on here?
Yeah, and admittedly I was very tired watching it, and I would say maybe I was a little too close to slumber in episode
Yeah.
5, and that
Yeah.
that didn't help. But I caught back up on it, and the house that dragons built is also like a nice recap as well. But they had a point in there where the way they wrote that episode, and I always appreciate when they put like themes on episodes. It's kind of like a game of cat and mouse, and also like escaping the labyrinth, because everyone in that episode, all the storylines are sort of our characters exploring the labyrinths that they're trapped in, whether it's Christian Cole and Sir Gawain down in the swamp in the bog,
Mhm.
kind of just trudging their guerrilla war. Alicent and Helena, right, trapped in the castle trying to escape. Um, Obviously, we get more Aemon and Alice.
Yeah.
Kind of, he wants to leave. She's trying to keep him in there. But there's also people hunting him. All those kind of themes. So I thought that was really cool, and it kind of explained the pacing of it. And obviously, yeah, Damon, right, with the gold cloaks, and kind of like piecing that mystery together. Um, yeah, that episode is peak castle intrigue and just kind of following our pieces across the chessboard. Less so like actual things happening, more so things happening to them as they kind of
Yeah, kind of catching up with all the different characters. Yeah, I was excited just to see our boy Tylan did survive.
yeah,
We had
yeah.
predicted or at least questioned what happened to him at the end there.
Tylen's back.
So that was definitely exciting to see. Yeah, I thought the episode was good. It's definitely the slowest out of all of them. The unbowed, unbent part, I'm a big House Martell guy. Oberyn's my favorite guy from the original series, so
Hmm.
that's their slogan. And we get a little story, I think, that Ormond tells about. Was it Ormond that told it? Watch this episode like way long ago by now.
Yeah,
But yeah, we get a little story about one of the Martells. I think it's when they resisted
yeah,
Aegon's dragons, which is mentioned in Game of Thrones. So it's just a retelling of that story. But um, yeah, I thought it was great. Ormond is quickly becoming like kind of a top tier character for me, and that's
yes,
saying a lot because this is his first season. He hasn't been
yeah,
around at all. So for a new character to come in and have the impact that he has is great. I laugh probably more frequently at his scenes, especially in episode 6. Like that whole scene was hilarious.
I think, yeah. I mean, the thing about Ormond is, one, he's so well acted, but two, his character is so, I think, unique to Game of Thrones. He kind of is a new archetype in Game of Thrones, like we said in previous episodes. He doesn't really kind of fall into any Game of Thrones cliche esque characters. We have plenty of them throughout this, right? Whether it's the wolf dude that's hunting Sir Christian Cole, and the younger Tully, right? Like they're Tullys, right? And like he's a northerner, right? So they all fit their kind of their stories. But like
Yeah.
Ormond seems like a net new ad for an archetype here from a time that's much older than Game of Thrones that we're used to, where someone can manage to have a smelling disorder and
Yeah.
such. But I do agree, like that's also part of the allure of him in the way he's acted, is that he's equally like disturbing but like funny and um interesting. He's just uniquely interesting. In every scene so far, I feel like we just keep getting a different facet of his character and personality. Or it's like different pieces we've got like running into each other, just like in episode 6, where we finally kind of see a little payoff from the smell thing, and combined with his anger, and just like also his want to plot here. That scene was just so good and just played off so many things they set up about his character, all in one scene kind of paid off.
Yeah, for sure. I thought it was just hilarious that he ends up throwing up. That was so funny. And you could see him just great acting in that scene, because you
Yeah.
see him kind of like get up and walk back away from them because they
Yeah.
smell, So just the like meta level of moving around the room was hilarious to me. I also found out that the kid that, and I can't remember his name. What's Allison's son that's with him?
Darren.
Darren.
Yeah.
That actor is playing Link in the Legend of Zelda movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Look at
So
that.
I was like, oh, I thought I recognized his face,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like he looks rather different in the Zelda screenshots that have been released.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, interesting. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and just to like kind of walk through that scene. Ultimately, like Rhaenyra, some Baratheons show up at the castle to talk to Rhaenyra. That was an interesting little scene, just because she was rightfully kind of pissed. She's like, oh, Lord Baratheon sees it timely to go chase what is the like Falcon.
Yeah. So I think that
He's come up before, and we said he has like a
yes,
really badass name.
yeah, and it's
And
like the Red Mount. What was it,
yeah,
like the
it's
Red
in the Red
Mountains or something?
Mountains. And yeah, there's a main Baratheon like opponent that kind of like terrorizes them.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was upset that she just kind of sends them to like tell her that, when she's like, I called him. He should not find it relevant to go gallivanting after some arch nemesis at the time.
Yeah, okay, but here I have to play devil's advocate here.
Yeah,
Okay. Clearly this wasn't like a spur of the moment thing. Like this is an ongoing struggle for them.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's not like if I was in Rhaenyra's shoes, I was like, okay, he's clearly busy with other important things for his kingdom. I don't expect him to drop everything and just come,
Right.
you know
But
what
I
I
think,
mean?
but her point was like, this has been a long-standing thing. All of a sudden, he finds that now is the time to go right off and be unavailable.
Yeah.
It's not
And
like
and
this
it
is a new threat. This is a
right.
ongoing, age-old threat.
But it could be, like, oh, we found
Sure.
him. Like we got him.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
here. Let's go get him. Whatever. And if I remember correctly, the Baratheons are on the green side, or did they take a side? Because the whole scene at Storm's, is it Storm's End?
Correct. Yeah, they. I think that was like a net, like neutral kind of
Yeah.
thing, because they kind of left there in the middle, but like I think they're just aligned with the crown, right? So I don't think she's gotten like a formal yay or nay from them, just like we're busy kind of thing. Like we'll hit you up later sort of situation.
Yeah.
They're clearly not helping the Greens, but they're also not helping the Blacks.
Right.
They're kind of being Baratheons, and they're like, we're kind of busy doing our Baratheon thing down here. But anyway, yeah. So like, she gets the idea to send them in, posing as Aaron Baratheon, but also smelling like complete shit from the road.
Yeah.
Um, which triggers Ormond, right? I think the movement in this scene is just so excellent because, like you said, Ormond, he's like kind of holding his nose, kind of like walking away because he was excited that a Baratheon envoy showed up. So he kind of was like, he's like, "Stand, idiots!" Like, they're here, and he was getting excited, right? And I like
Yeah.
that like he kind of had that, not vulnerability, but like just he got excited because things were happening in favor of them. And then he's like quickly turned off by it. But at the same time, his bodyguard, right, was moving kind of sword in hand, kind of watching Gawain at the same time. Gawain was onto them, and I thought it was really cool that Gawain, being kind of more of a seasoned knight, right, like knows who Aaron Baratheon looks like. And like quickly was like, this doesn't smell right, pun intended.
Pun intended. Yeah.
So I thought that was a really well executed scene across the
Yeah.
board.
Yeah, I thought it was really good, and they got close, man. Like
Yeah,
he asked, like, can I see the king? I want to bend the knee. He's like, oh yeah, he's standing right here.
yeah,
So, yeah, definitely a strong play from Rhaenyra. Maybe probably would have been executed if that kid wouldn't have been there to kind of foil the whole thing. And I think he just gets back like
yeah. He
just
just got
prior.
back from Cole.
Yeah.
Um,
And that is that Allison's brother, that guy?
yes,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
that's actually her brother.
Okay. Yeah, because I was getting those two mixed up at the beginning of the season.
Um, and kind of to tether that to Cole, so like Gawain just abandoned Cole and his troop with a few men and was just like, yeah, I'm out. This is kind of, he knew it was a lost cause. He even says, I think the Ormond or someone, he just basically alludes to the fact that like he is, second in line, technically for the high tower throne. Like he knows he has things he ought to be doing other than dying off with Cole, on this hopeless cause of just simply slowing down Damon's forces from getting to King's Landing. And we also get that pretty good monologue from, or speech or whatever from Cole, while we're looking at both Alicent and Helena escaping, and also looking at Damon finding the gold cloaks. So I
Yeah.
thought that was a nice like combination of things to round off episode 5 and kind of bring all that together.
Y-
Um,
Yeah, I think the gold cloak thing, man, is just it is wild. Um
yeah,
and
it's
I
crazy they
feel
have coins of Darren's like face
yeah,
made.
yeah. And I mean, I just can't wait to see the inner workings of like how this is going on in the background. You know what I mean? Like what it seems like it might be like all of the peasantry are in on it in some
Right.
capacity. You know what I mean? It's like the Daenerys with the people with the gold
Yep.
masks on. I can't remember what they
Yeah.
are. That same kind of like uprising growing against them.
Yeah, and those were literally faceless men because they had all the masks on. The what are they, Sons of the Harpies or something like that? In that
Sons of the
city.
Harpy, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Sons of
it.
the
Yes,
Harpies.
yes.
I'm surprised I remember that. Um, but like, they were literally faceless men, and that's the name of that episode. But also obviously the faceless men that are killing the gold cloaks. And I also thought it was interesting too because that episode focused a little bit on Christian Cole, and I was thinking about the fact that like Christian Cole's whole situation here is that like I feel like he kind of feels like a faceless man in
Yeah.
this war of
Mhm.
dragons, where like to a dragon rider and like a dragon, like all those bodies on the ground are just kind of faceless men to be burned, right? And I thought, I don't know if that was intentional, but I thought it was very appropriate. And I was like thinking about why they named episodes the way they do. But there's a lot of Faceless Men kind of references, and not
Yeah.
to be confused with Arya's, faceless god. I forget what
Right.
they're actually called, but like that reminded me of that too.
I think it was it's the Faceless Men, I believe, right?
Right?
I
Is
think
it?
that's what
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's what they're called in the show. But the yeah, so Cole has got this thing where he does genuinely believe that he is the best fighter, and I think he says it in one of these
Yes.
episodes. He says like I'm the best fighter
I think
alive or
five.
whatever.
Yeah. Hmm.
Um but it's just not a war to be fought by soldiers on the ground, you know what I mean? Like, they're overshadowed vastly by the war of the dragons in the sky, and just how much it's like taking a freaking F-16 to a medieval battle, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
clearly, whatever's on the ground has no
Yeah.
bearing at all, you know? You might be
Right.
the best fighter down there, but if there's an F-16 and you have a sword and a shield, yeah, you know?
Yeah, and it's tough because I mean, as much as we like through the seasons, I really dislike Christian Cole. I like his completion here. Um, and while he is kind of moody about it, I still think he acts it very well. And like it kind of comes to a good head at the end. Because his whole thing from the beginning was like he is of no important house, and he kind of through combat skill and a little bit of adjacency to the females of the royal families,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
has worked his way into at least his own, right? He definitely has earned where he's gotten, but he kind of plots these grand campaigns with Aemond and things, right? And how basically he's going to get his vengeance and on Rhaenyra and the Blacks, but he sees his first dragon battle, and it really kind of, I think, puts a damper on all his boyhood dreams
Yeah, yeah,
of being
yeah.
somebody.
Yeah, and that's what I was yeah, that's what I was gonna say is he grew up in a peacetime, right? So he
Yeah.
probably grew up hearing these stories of these knights and having these single combat battles on the
Yep.
battlefield and growing up dreaming that he was gonna be that one day, and he worked his whole life to get to that point. He just unfortunately was born in the wrong time era. Like,
Yeah.
he would have been great in Game of Thrones,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Um, but he's unfortunately in the middle of a war between two sides of the family that have dragons. So yeah, I think it was just he built his entire life up to this point, focusing on this one focus. And then when he actually got to go to war, it wasn't anything like he thought it was. And I think that's kind of echoed here at the end in his scene. If we're going to talk about it now, we
Yeah.
might as well.
Yeah.
He offers to
Yeah.
do single combat with him versus two, and then
Yeah.
just gets zapped right in the face with an arrow. It's like, dude, this isn't the storybooks you grew up reading. This
Yeah.
is real life, and we're here to kill you, and that's what we're gonna do. And there's no single combat.
Great. The big northerner guy with the beard and stuff, like that dude, he walks on set, he has giant, like, blacked out, like, rock star glasses. Like, the dude just looks like a total champ. And Cole did say, like, he's like, yeah, he just shows up like a rock star. He's just like, in his accent, like, I'm here to kill you.
Yeah,
Like, it's the day. Like, he's like, I will die by you any day. But yeah, and I mean, I really like that whole like sequence and scene, and it's a great way to start an episode. And yeah, you have Cole kind of just pulling out all the stops, just trying to hit all his notes on the way out. Ties Allison's favor onto his sword.
Mhm.
But Black, it's Alice. No, it's something. It's a name. The one that kills him with the arrows. She's part of a family.
Oh, is she okay? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Black Alley, Blackwood.
Oh, Blackwoods. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Blackwoods, and yeah, she just cranks like a few arrows through them, and um, I was so happy and excited. I was like, dude, like this is awesome. I was all for it and I think a non-climatic, dramatic end to Cole
For him is what he
was
needed.
hyper appropriate, and
Yeah,
just
yeah.
because like him having his last duel would have been ultimate glory for him at this point. But Game of Thrones style, like it just is meant to rob you of what you fantasize about.
Yeah.
And well,
Yeah.
I always say that about the end of Game of Thrones. I'm like, I think it just robbed a lot of people of their fantasy, and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
just all this show constantly does, and it's good at it. And so the second you think it's not going to do that, like you're just gonna shoot yourself.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I definitely when I first saw it, I was like, man, like I was first
I
off, great shocking death because I did
Yeah,
not see it coming, and it happened so quickly. Like the arrow deaths are like the most jarring this season. You know what I mean? We get Jace at the
it was right
beginning
up
where
there
it's
with Rhaenyra's son.
yeah, yeah.
I thought that was great too. Like he just takes a few arrows in the water, and that was super sudden and dramatic. And even though it's like kind of used twice this season, I mean, it was so fitting
It's
for Cole as
effective.
well.
Yeah, it's effective. Um, but the whole set first off, the whole setup of the trap was awesome.
Yeah,
Like, dude, these guys are pretending to be dead. Like that's awesome. And then we got to see Cole fight. You know, it wasn't like a Night King style death where we just never got to really see him fight. He fights a little bit at the end there with his little morning star or whatever they call those things.
yeah.
Still, even after watching that, gotta be just the most effective weapon out there, dude. Like when you're talking about knight
I
armor
forgot
and
that was his
yeah,
chosen weapon way back in the day. So that was awesome.
yeah. And it's just, yeah, it's cool because you don't really ever see it. So anytime that you watch anything medieval, it's always swords and spears and
Yeah.
the common weapons. You rarely get to see those kind of weapons that were actually a thing. So
Yeah, it's usually like a boss in an arena fight, and
yeah,
like,
yeah,
they get a few swings on you, or they're really challenging, and you find they always die too because they're never like an A character that's
yeah,
gonna like roll through you.
yeah.
But some behind the scenes on that was really cool is one, um, they made those out of wax and filled with blood. So when he hit people with them, they actually exploded
Oh, that's
red.
cool. Yeah.
And they just made like a shit ton of them. So he just kept getting new ones for every like take. And every time he whacked someone, like it would just explode and there'd be blood everywhere. And then the dude that took it to the face, they like prosthetically attached just the end into his face. So like that's all like real prosthetics.
That's cool. Yeah.
But the
Yeah,
counter
dude,
on that,
that was brutal.
yeah.
The one to the jaw.
And the counter on that too, though, is it makes him super light. So it was actually a lot of practice to in his movements to move with it to make it look like it
Look
had
heavy.
weight. And I mean, it looked
It
legit
does.
the whole
Yeah.
way through.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Um,
looks great.
it's
That's
incredible when
interesting.
they do those fight scenes and like the pointy weapons have red markers on the end, and they're short, so like they just CGI the rest of the blade in there. But it's like they're fighting, and it's just like he slices, but like it's short, so it's just really incredible how they choreograph all
How they
that.
time it all up. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, that's super I need to go watch those because I am super interested in that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
so
And
cool.
I found this season 8 Game of Thrones one just fascinating. So I'm sure this one's just up there
Yeah.
with it. And it's cool they're doing it by episode.
Yep. It's like
That's
20
really
minutes
cool.
per episode, and every
That's cool.
episode's gets love. And you get to see a little bit of everything from behind the scenes, like building. There's a master armor, right? Because there's so much like there's actually a lot of like military stuff going on in like these two episodes too, because um, just the logistics of filming all the coal sequences like in the bog in the forest. They're on this like this preserve, woodland preserve or whatever in like England. So that's all really cool. But then like they're really expanded the sets this season where like Flea Bottom, they've built a very large Flea Bottom. And they did quite a bit of talk about that for episode 6 is because they built it in such a way like Damon in some of those shots when we're following Damon, he goes down an alley and they just like whip the camera and they continue the shot, but because it's from a different angle and the way they have it woven, it's the same alley. He's just walking the other direction, but it looks like he's continuing.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
They all kinds of like very smart tricks that they do in the
Dude, that's
setup and
a
design.
I mean, I'm just fascinated by this stuff. And I just watched like a short, I think it was like a 60-minute thing on the Odyssey.
Oh yeah,
Just dude, it's fascinating. Like once you go see that movie, I can't wait to talk about it because there's scenes in that movie that are just like, how
yeah,
did you not use CGI? And that I just don't even comprehend it. Like it's
right,
baffling. So yeah, I always find that stuff just super, super interesting. And even like the camera work and the kit,
yeah,
like hearing about that IMAX camera and it's too loud and that's why it's never been used to film an entire movie. And they made a box for it and it's like the size of a small SUV and it needs I love that kind of stuff. So
yeah. Yeah, and because of the set, so like other seasons, they were in Spain. There's a town in Spain where they shot a lot of King's Landing stuff. But since one, it's like a historical heritage site, so they can't really do much, and it's really
yeah.
restrictive.
Yeah.
But because they're on a back lot now, they dug that like ditch, that sewage ditch that we see in episode 6 in Flea Bottom with actual running, like water running down it and everything. Like they're like, we can't do this. Like if we were like in a city.
Yeah.
So yeah, they just
Interesting.
dug that trench to add Flea Bottom to be more like gross.
Wow, super interesting. I do the alleyway thing is baffling.
Dude, it's
So
nuts.
it's just like decorated a different way to make it look like so
Yeah,
when they
so
flip the camera, it just that's so cool, dude.
it's a big set for Flea Bottom this season, but the way they designed it and use it, they get so much out of it, like probably 4x the amount that it
Wow.
actually is. Yeah, they like decorations, but even the camera angles that you're moving through it and filming it, it looks different. But also a
Wow.
lot of it looks the same because it's Flea Bottom and it's
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
it's just cool how they it's just like really smart people like working on this show too, like pulling out all the stops.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always impressive to watch that kind of stuff, and you just it's when you're watching it, it's not something that really even creeps into your
Right.
mind, you know what I mean? But then going back and reading it, like some of that stuff, it can be baffling. Like it's
Yeah.
like, wait, what they just say there? They didn't do this? How is that possible?
Yeah.
But yeah, I need to go watch. Is it like a separate?
Yeah.
It's a separate
Just do
show
the
on.
like related when it
Oh,
says
okay,
episodes, just go over a tab and it's like related stuff and it's all in there.
yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out before we wrap up here.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that was the end of So Crushing Cool. I think that was excellent, and that's book accurate too. Like that's how he dies in the book.
I didn't mean to bring that up. Yeah, I did go look it up because I thought maybe I just said this as a theory. I thought him and Damon fought again. But yeah, you're right. That is book accurate. He does fall into a trap and get shot with arrows.
Yep.
So
Just be like that sometimes.
yeah, rough. I can't say that I mean, it was a shocking death, but it was like a Joffrey style shocking death where it was like, oh my gosh, that sucks, but yay, you know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It
like
was
Cole,
awesome. I was
yeah,
like,
like just
yes.
I'm over Cole.
My wife was like like sitting there on her phone, like half watch. She's like, "Oh no," and I'm like, "Oh no, yes, this is good." I'm like, "This is." I've waited for this death for
Yes. Yeah, we've been waiting.
2 seasons. Like this dude needs to die.
Yeah, it was like right around the point that Rhaenyra and him split up or broke up or whatever happened
Yeah,
there. After that, it's just like, dude, somebody just kill this dude.
yeah.
Like
He had
he's
a
just he was great leading up to that breakup, and then that was like, he was like a woman scorned,
yeah,
but he's a man.
yeah. He was really angsty about that whole breakup with her. And also they showed some because they were talking about like makeup and stuff. They're showing and they dedicated a good chunk of the the episode to him just because it was his death and he was a pretty major
Yeah.
character. Um, he was saying like it's been 5 years of his life, and then also they were showing side by sides from like because one like everything's really gritty this season, like because they're all like no one's clean kept. I'm like I did
Right.
forget that like they were all pretty clean kept in season 1 and 2 because we're in castles, there is no war,
Yeah.
so they're showing young Kristen Cole, and wow, like
Big
he's gotten
difference.
older and he's also like he had like long flowy hair. I completely forgot. I'm already used to like guerrilla warfare, Christian
Yeah.
Cole,
Yeah.
roughing it in the woods.
Yeah. Yeah. I went back. I think after the last episode we recorded, I just started like I put episode 1 on of the series, just to like fall asleep too. So
Yeah.
I did see the young Cole in that one. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I think it's a fitting death, and especially when you think about just like he wanted this to be this like glorious death on the battlefield, and it really wasn't. And nothing that he probably had in his head about how this war was going to go and how he was going to write his names down in the storybooks for other kids to read as they're growing up. None of that really panned out for him.
Nope, not much. Good ending.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Cole. Good riddance. Well acted. Elsewhere, Harrenhal is an interesting little plot line. Basically, Alice Rivers here is getting the daemon that she wanted to get out of Aemond, trying to seduce a Targaryen for power for Harrenhal. She's oddly just fixated on like Harrenhal. But yeah, she kind of gets there with very fragile Aemond. But in a very interesting way, and not out of like really just playing into like some positive things that perhaps Aemond should aspire to be, right? Like with someone, his own person. The dragon eggs was a really cool like reveal. And I'm starting to wonder, and I saw this online and it lines up really well. Between the eggs, right? Are these the eggs that continue on to Daenerys?
Oh, interesting.
We also have Aegon, who has committed to fleeing to Essos, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And then also, this is more just fun, I think, but all of the prominent White Walkers do oddly line up. If you're to give a kid like a draw a line to the ones that match, they kind of did that. And like Aemon, Daemon, a whole host of our Targaryens oddly line up as White Walkers, the main ones.
As like for like looks,
a little bit of looks, yeah, like a lot of looks.
That would be super interesting.
I just thought it was super interesting, but yeah, definitely a lot of like seeds planted here. And obviously, I think the legitimate ones, like, does Aegon kind of actually go to Essos and end up having Daenerys? And then like these eggs, are those the eggs? There's 5 of them, but like we only need 3 to make it. So lots of little interesting things in terms of what from this story goes all the way to Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool. And it honestly, it would be a really cool if they threw the dragon thing in there. Like, because you have to presume that those dragon eggs came from this time, because this is the end of the dragons. So, I mean, it only makes sense. The White Walker thing also kind of makes sense too, because they have been talking about the White Walkers quite not. I don't want to say frequently, but way more than I thought they were going to in this series.
Yeah, and the other thing that really got me so I saw the whole White Walker like parallel to our Targaryens in this series like a couple weeks ago, but in this episode, I think it's 6, when Alicent like looks at the tapestry that Helena has, there is clearly a blue-eyed, white-haired Targaryen like in a fetal position on the tapestry. I don't know if you saw that. And like Alicent just kind of looks at it like, huh, and then like moves on.
But you're talking about the centerpiece of the tapestry that's like covered in blood.
Yeah. Clearly a white-haired, at this time, Targaryen, right? But with blue eyes.
Yeah, very interesting.
And like
that would be a cool twist. That would be a really cool twist, and it could. I wonder if part of the show wanted to correct a little bit of the White Walker storyline or at least continue it. I don't think necessarily it needs corrected per se, but just to maybe build up more of the background story on the White Walkers, because you would think that maybe that's in the books. I don't know. Maybe they do talk about the White Walkers in the books. Maybe this whole dream thing is a sequence from Fire and Blood where they're having these dreams of this winter coming from the north. But that would be interesting. I might be able to get behind that. The only problem I see with it is that I was under the impression that all of the White Walkers were turned as babies. Um, those were the White Walkers. Then everything
Right.
else, the army were the Whites, and
Yeah.
they were after death.
Yeah.
But yeah, could be interesting. Could be interesting. I'm
Yeah. And they
always here
even
for more White Walker stuff.
Yeah, and they make it a point in that episode too, where when Allison's like, "I know where Aemond is," and she's like, "How the hell would you know where Aemond is?" She's like, "Well, Helena saw it," and she's like, "Oh yeah, Helena is a seer or whatever." So like that's where Helena gets these tapestry creations. Like she's kind
Yeah.
of weaving what's to come already in it. So I don't know. There's just a lot of like pointing. I feel like in these two episodes, particularly, that I was like, huh. I was I'm like, there's a lot of like Easter eggs that like
Yeah.
go forward, I can see. So
Yeah. I'm gonna. Where'd you see the correlation for the White Walkers? Like a
I'll
YouTube
find
video or
it. It was
something?
it was on Twitter somewhere.
Yeah, that's super interesting, and I hope that's true. And yeah, that would be really cool.
Yeah.
Because that would be an almost poetic um writing of the Song of Ice and Fire if the ice were the greens. Is that I presume that's who you're talking about, is the green side Targaryens, or is it all the Targaryens?
No more all any of them.
Any of
Because
them?
it's
Okay.
Damon, basically all the
Interesting.
prominent like male ones. Even like Viserys um is in there because there is one that looks oddly like Viserys with like the scraggly hair, the like fucked up one side of his face where he's
Oh,
missing an eye and part of
interesting.
his like
Yeah.
jaw. All of our prominent like male ones, there was paralleling them to the main White Walkers.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, that would be really cool. I'm definitely behind the dragon egg thing. I didn't even put that together. That definitely makes sense. I just can't remember. Those eggs were colored, correct? Where Daenerys's eggs had color to them, and these ones, I think they're all like the same color, right?
I mean,
Maybe
for
that's
sit for
to
sitting in a chest for a bunch of years,
yeah,
probably a little dirty and dusty. But yeah, hers were definitely much more like polished, like treasures.
yes, like
Um,
found and polished, yeah, or
but
even
like a
painted, maybe, yeah,
I would take it like a rock. Like you take a rock, get it wet, and like add some polish to it. It's gonna have some color versus being
yeah.
dusty.
That would be super, super interesting. And they've already kind of dropped hints at Daenerys multiple times in the show too, with the
Hmm.
dreams. But yeah. I think the all the Harrenhal stuff, I love what they have done with Harrenhal in this series. Like Harrenhal in Game of Thrones was just this kind of dilapidated castle. We had big events happen at Harrenhal, but it didn't have the horror element that this show makes Harrenhal into. And I
Right.
love that. Like they're walking in there and they're hearing like noises in the background. I love it.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting too, like because in episode 6 we get some really much needed dialogue where Aemon's like, "I need to go and I need to find my dragon." And she's like, "Well, what if your dragon like left you as a way to like protect you to say like you just need to stay here?" Right? Like the hidden prince that kind of just like lies and waiting till it's time to strike. Um and like so she has a lot of like confidence that like there's no point in you going and finding Vagar, right? And I thought it was interesting, still under this idea that we talked about, where it's like, did she do something to
Yeah.
Vagar?
Yeah. Yeah.
Versus like, I mean, where did Vagar go? Like, why would Vagar just leave if like that'd be too coincidental for her to be like, oh, lucky you, Alice. Like Vagar just happened to like leave and disappear
Yeah. I think
from everyone.
there's no way that she's not tied to that in some capacity, whether
Right.
he's in a deep spell slumber in the slums of the castle or out in the forest. He's a big guy.
Yeah.
I don't think he up and dipped on his own to predict, like that's just a lie she's feeding him to try to get him to stay.
Yeah, and it's interesting how much she is kind of like Alicent, at least like in appearance and like
Yep.
to Aemon, right? Like he had that weird thing with his mother when he left, and then like all of a sudden, like here is this kind of different version of his mother that is totally into him. Um, but also like the whole like everything about his old life, there's like this chance where he can like completely leave it all behind and start over. And I think the eggs thing was almost like giving him an opportunity to have a different family where it's like you have these eggs that take care of. You're a Targaryen, and like forget all those other ones that kind of suck. Like
Yeah.
you can start your own new thing here with me situation. And we know he's a vulnerable, messed up individual to begin with.
Yeah. And Alice is definitely smart because, I mean, does she have like the dreaming thing is just a Targaryen thing, right?
Yeah,
But she's a witch, and the
which
Red Woman had a little bit of future stuff going on. So she has to assume that maybe this war is going to end all the dragons, and she can keep this little guy here with his big dragon and these whatever 6 eggs or however many eggs were there, as the only Targaryen left that survived the war.
yeah, because I think the setup here, and obviously, to the whole point of Rhaenyra telling Allison to go to Harrenhal, right? Kind of builds up the point where it's like Alice is trying to like build this situation where it's like, yeah, stay here, don't leave here. No one cares about Harrenhal. No one knows you're here really. Maybe wait this thing out, let them all just like torch each other, and we can emerge as like this new power dynamic out of Harrenhal, which is a really long play. But
Yeah,
I feel like Allison's about to kind of mess that up when you see it in the preview, like she shows up to Harrenhal and is like, I'm here, and then Alice is clear like, Aemon, like this isn't good.
yeah.
Why would
And
your
she's
mother
right.
just come
I mean,
here?
and she's right. So,
Yeah,
but I just don't. Yeah, like poor Allison. Like I'm starting to feel like worse and worse for Allison. She just nothing goes this woman's way. Like they try to sneak out of the castle in the beginning. She tries
nope.
to lay this perfectly played plot out. Everything falls apart. They get captured. Then they try to escape. What is it, episode 5? I think they try to
Yes,
escape through that tunnel and get trapped in there. It's like, geez.
the same one
It's,
that
it's like, would you
Rhaenyra.
not? Why'd you close the door before you went and looked to see if the exit? Like, you just assumed the exit was going to be there. Like, let's check it out before we let the door close behind us. She's
Yeah,
just,
put the little piece of wood there so it doesn't
yeah,
close all the way.
yeah.
But like I'm pretty sure the same one Rhaenyra would sneak out at night as a teenager.
Oh, maybe you're right. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you are right.
Because what's one thing is cool, especially if you probably go back and watch season one, a lot, especially in this season when Rhaenyra returns, is like all the same rooms. Like she was bouncing between sleeping in her father's room versus like sleeping with Damon. Then like I'm pretty sure Alicent and Helena are like staying in her previous quarters. Like it's all
Mhm.
in the Red Keep, like townhome section. So like it's all
Yeah.
just rooms. And it's interesting, the parallels. Like I always like to reference The Crown, but like there is a palace where the family members of the royal family stay, and like there's just like they're like apartments in real life in England, and so that's kind of cool too. Like they can opt to live there, and it's just all free
Yeah.
because they're part of the royal family. And that's kind of like what this part of the keep is. So there's a lot of reuse of rooms, which is interesting, as all these different people have now lived in them.
So I want to pick your head on, since we're kind of on Allison and what's her name?
Helena.
Helena? Do
Dude, if
you
it turns
think,
out Allison is some sort of mastermind at this point, completely going to surprise me
dude,
because
that would be the
it's all out
shocking.
the window.
Yeah, that would be the most shocking moment. Maybe in Game of Thrones history, if she's got some plot going on in the background. I think that, as far as I'm concerned, that's totally fallen out of my line of thinking. Like, I think she's just an idiot. I don't think she has any plans. I don't think she's thinking this stuff through
I
in the
wonder if she
background.
I wonder if she has some sort of parallel to like Cole, in where like Cole had this like idolized like knighthood fantasy in his mind where she had this idolized like queen royal princess thing in her head, which absolutely has not worked out very well for her
Yeah.
at any turn.
Yeah.
So like kind of her and Cole are very parallel in that sense, where like the fantasy that they were thinking they would attain um in this world, zero.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Um, the the wife believes that Helena is not pregnant by Aegon and is pregnant by somebody else. I don't see that being the case. She wanted me to mention it, but yeah, I just the timing lines up for that being Aegon's kid, right? Like he has been
um
gone for a while,
Not
and
that much time, because like,
yeah,
yeah, I mean we're within like months. He was most of the way through season 2 when Aegon gets blasted off his dragon. Um, he certainly spends a few weeks or a few months, but that's the thing, is like it's really close, because if it was Aegon, she would be really further along, in my opinion.
right, yeah,
Just some
yeah,
loose math in my head, because granted, the first few episodes, actually, well, the first last 2 episodes of see, the first 2 episodes of this season, um, they went really quickly, tight time frame. But now we're kind of getting the sense that like some weeks and months ish have passed in this season. But she'd be maybe 3 months pregnant, which might be fair. Like she would start to show, and that's why Alicent noticed. So I mean, it could be, but it would have been like Aegon's last act before becoming crippled and burnt and almost dying. So it's close, but I don't know who else she would have had a child with. Um,
yeah. That's what I'm saying. I just don't know who else. She's a
she's not the most
weird,
outgoing
yeah.
character,
She's
and
very weird, and she's just weird. I wouldn't see her.
she had that conversation with her mother, like, did you want me to marry my brother? Like that was an awkward conversation.
And maybe that's a piece of evidence. I mean,
Right.
that might be a piece of evidence, and and we know that back in this time, like you didn't marry for love, right? You
No.
married for power and whatever,
Convenience and all that
convenience.
stuff.
And she clearly didn't want to marry her brother, right?
Yeah.
So that could be a piece of evidence that maybe there is someone in the shadows,
Yeah.
that we don't know.
Not sure though.
Maybe
Cole's last act.
no, not Cole's. I was gonna say who's
Oh no, Aemond.
no. Oh, that would be a freaking hell of a twist. Yeah.
Ugh,
I was gonna say what's
the
the gimp's
gold
name?
cloak guy.
No, the gimp dude, the foot
Oh.
fetish guy. Maybe the foot fetish went a little too far one night,
Oh no.
and that would be great. I would think that would be hilarious because that I would love to see what happened to that kid because they're both really weird. So
Yeah. Very true.
yeah,
Um.
there could be evidence, and maybe her line of talking there about did you mean to marry me? Did you want me to marry my brother? Maybe that's a
Yeah.
little piece of evidence.
Yeah. She basically calls her like a horrible mother, more or less, like and
And
all
I
that.
said
Like,
that, yeah, I said that I think like episode 1 of
because she,
this series,
yeah,
like
because
she's
she
an
was
awful
like,
mother.
what'd she say? She was like, for your sake, like to save your skin. Like everything really seems to be like to preserve Allison's self. Damn her kids.
Yeah.
Now she's off to kill one of her kids, maybe.
Yeah, we'll see. She'll find a way to mess that up, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I
she's
think she's gonna get trapped there with like she ain't leaving once she's there.
yeah, I don't know how. Yeah. Well, she doesn't have to
Unless
leave.
unless Alice, who is probably clearly gonna see her as a threat to the plot that she's trying to build, decides that she needs to go one way or the other.
Yeah, so I mean, for her to like be stuck on her deranged like path of helplessness, like she has to go to Harrenhal, kill Aemond, return to rescue Helena. So it's like she's really between like she has to do like one of her children is dying.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really good execution by Rhaenyra for better or worse. But also, I also thought Rhaenyra was about to like burn something down at point in two of these episodes, because like she's really losing her patience with things, as she said.
Mhm.
I thought she was about to send like Hulk to go like burn Tumbleton.
Yeah, I think that's coming. I think that's definitely coming, especially after the Baratheon thing.
Um,
Go ahead.
Before we jump to Hulk, I wanted to quickly note, speaking of relations with your family, right? We have Alan and Bela having a moment and kissing. They're affectionate for each other, but that's her. Uh, if it's your grandfather, it's her uncle,
That would be
grandfather's son, stepson, grandfather's bastard
yes.
would be your step uncle, half uncle. A little bit of blood. Yeah,
I mean, hey,
it's all in the
man,
family.
it's all in the family. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just that
not
that
the
time
worst
we're
thing
talking
we've
about
seen.
Targaryen times, and that was
Yeah,
just their thing. You know,
yeah.
that was their
Right
thing.
now, right now, I guess that's technically no. It's a little different. Rhaenyra and Damon's a little closer there because it's her.
Closer,
It's
yeah.
literally her
Her
uncle.
uncle, yeah,
Versus your grandfather, it's her. It's her step great uncle, something like that.
yeah,
I think still the worst one right now is Aegon and Helena, like literally
yeah. Oh,
brother and
yeah,
sister. That's
yeah,
the worst one
yeah. Literal
on
brother
record
and
right
sister.
now.
Yeah. So I was thinking about this during the episode, and I don't know why this randomly popped into my head, but the son that faked his death. Do you remember in season 1? Um,
Yes. Uh-huh.
when do you think he's gonna pop back up? Because
Oh,
he's out there
wow.
still. You totally forgot about him, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, Corliss's son.
Corliss's son that
Yeah,
faked
that
his
was
death, burned that
supposed to
body up.
marry or did
He ran
marry.
away with his boyfriend or something. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
but
was
who was
supposed
he
to.
married to?
Oh man,
Allison? No.
no, it wasn't Allison. It was Rhaenyra, wasn't it?
Was it
Rhaenyra?
Rhaenyra?
Yeah, yeah, it was
Yeah,
Rhaenyra.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, because Damon
because they
lost
had
his
that like
wife.
that like bridal shower or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's right. He's just out there.
He's out there somewhere, man, and I have to think that he's going to make a valiant return at some point. Maybe not. Maybe
Maybe not. He's just gone.
he's just gone.
You would expect that in a normal story, but no, not this one.
Not right.
Yeah,
Yep.
the dude's just gone. Just gone. Didn't need him no more. Um, We talk about Corliss real quick since his name came up.
Mhm.
Interesting conversation between Alan and Corliss in the woods there, where Alan's there, like, hey, once you're done, pillaging out here, doing what you do best, hunting down pirates. I need some men, right? Because King's Landing, no bueno. He's like, man, he just never stops to give, 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 and he's like, why do you help someone who refuses to give you your name right and whatnot? And he's like, well, I mean, that shit takes time. Clearly, it took you how long, bud?
Yeah, dude.
I'm
I
like,
was like, "Oh
oh,
man, what a dig!" Yeah, it was
got
like
burned.
fair argument you got there.
Got him, got him. And like all of a sudden, like that just completely validates kind of what we were saying about Rhaenyra's position on this. Is like she could just do it, but also like, what's the hurry? Like, why Corliss? Like, why are you so bent out about it? And it's like all of a sudden, it is a good point. Like, Corliss, all of a sudden, this is a big hub do for you to do. Like,
Yeah,
but you just like had a change of heart, and now all of a sudden, everyone's got to pay attention to you legitimizing your bastards. Like,
yeah, dude. I thought when he said that, I was like,
I
"Oh,
was like, got him,
damn, got
got
him,
him,
got him."
got him.
Yeah, I mean,
Alan's cool, calm, and collective. That one right there.
yeah, he is. Yeah, they
Bayek,
both are.
Bayek, Bayek is so chill.
Yeah, they both are. But you probably would be too if you were in the slums for most of your life, knowing that you were Corliss's son, and now he's finally taking you under his wing. I'd probably be chill too, and just
Yeah, bide my
calm and
time.
collected. Yep.
Yeah, but it's like I'm just gonna bide my time, advise the queen, because man, that's like such a rough job. Like I'm literally somehow I'm on the council. Like, isn't
Yeah.
he hand of the king?
Yeah.
Isn't she hand of the queen?
Yeah. Escalated so quickly. Yeah.
Is he hand though?
He is
His like acting
I
hand.
think he is acting hand, yeah. Because
Because yeah, the
Corliss is
hand sent
actually hand.
him
Yep.
to represent. Yeah,
Yeah, so he's the same as Tyrion, and when his dad sends him, he's like the acting hand until his dad shows
yeah.
back
So
up in
that's
season 2.
yeah, this is crazy. His dad's being all mopey. Meanwhile, Alan, who's like lived a very like militaristic life under his father, and he's just like, bro, like I just somehow jumped like 50 ranks,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm
I
acting
need some
hand
help.
of the
I need some help.
queen. I'm not gonna complain about my name still being Hall.
Right. Yeah.
It's
It
all good,
doesn't seem
bro.
relevant at the current moment.
Yeah. Even if I had your last name, you ain't got a castle, bro. It got burnt down, and I ain't getting one anytime soon from the queen because ship ain't right. We're in rough waters here.
Yeah, dude. I'm kind of salty about that castle getting burnt down too, because that whole
Yeah.
castle is sick. Like those scenes of
Driftmark,
like, yeah,
good
dude,
name,
it's
all of it.
cool. Yeah.
Rip the castle. But yeah, so Corliss, yeah, he's just singing some shanties with his boys in the woods, and this is Ormond's retaliation. Just sending out some goons to go capture Corliss. I don't know if he exactly dies. It's just like Thailand. We do not see a confirmed kill.
Yeah, I think he definitely got captured. When I saw, because they kind of like silhouette them for a little
Yeah.
bit there, and you don't know who it is. But as soon as I saw the one dude step up, I was like, oh no, like this is bad.
Yeah.
But I am at least slightly relieved that I do believe he got captured. I think they certainly would have showed him get killed. I don't think he's an off-screen death, too big of a character. So I
Yeah.
think he is captured. I think that is definitely what's going to set Rhaenyra maybe off to go to Tumbleton. I do believe we're going to end the season with a battle at Tumbleton. But yeah, I mean, poor Corliss, dude. The dude could just not catch a break this season. Like
I
he's
mean,
just,
he's definitely the elderly in this
yeah,
environment where it's
yeah,
like his mind wanders, he fixates on the wrong things, like an elderly person kind of
yeah,
will do. Like
yeah,
you could be like on your way to like the doctor and they're like, "Oh, I forgot my," and they're
yeah.
just completely all like that is not what we're doing right now. We are not going to the store to buy whatever. Like you have an appointment in 10 minutes. Take your pills, old man. Like
Yeah. It's just
so
it's rough because dude, he's taking a beating too. Like we've
oh
thought
yeah.
he's been dead multiple times this show. You know what I mean? Like this guy's
Yeah.
got kind of the roughest storyline out of he's like the
Yeah.
Sansa of this
Yeah.
episode where it's just like one bad thing after another happening to this poor
Yeah.
dude.
I mean, I get all of his feelings too, but like, yeah, he's trying to force like his last remnants of an agenda to like round out his life before like he inevitably dies soon.
Yeah.
He's like, I want my boys to have my name, I want to avenge my castle. Like he's just,
Yeah.
he's got his bucket list and nothing else really matters.
And that's where my concern comes. And we mentioned this last week, or maybe it was the last week, 2 weeks ago, when he has the argument with Rhaenyra where he gets very heated. And I mentioned something like, is he gonna jump sides over this? Is this
Right.
something that he's gonna jump sides? So I'll be curious to see if that comes into play at all, if they bring him there. They're like, hey, he'll legitimize your kids. And that seems to be at the current moment, now that the triarchy is taken care of, his only focus, his main focus, and the one that he's the most emotionally invested in.
For him to flip though, like they'd have to offer him some like semblance of everything he wants on his bucket list.
But they could,
But
but they
also,
could, but they could.
but
What
also
his bucket list isn't that big,
yeah, but he also needs Alan and the other one to like also flip with him because like he's kind of useless on his own.
right?
Like
Right.
unless he's coming with 3 dragons if you count Bela, right? Unless he comes with the whole clan, or at least part of the clan, he don't got a dragon. He don't really have a boat. I
Yeah.
mean, he does, but he doesn't. And Alan runs all his stuff. So like it's interesting. Speaking of flips though, I pieced this together and I don't know if like I missed it or what, but it was something Helena said about how Rhaenyra found out she was pregnant, right? Alicent told Rhaenyra. They got captured because they were trying to escape. Obviously, Rhaenyra's pissed, so Alicent's like, "Oh, blah blah blah," like Helena's pregnant, and she's like, "Huh." That means Massaria did not tell her that because she already knows that. So
Yes.
like she's keeping that from Rhaenyra.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's Master of Whispers 101. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna keep stuff in your back pocket. If you think about any of the Master of Whispers that we've seen, they all have stuff that they're hiding
Yeah.
from people. Um, but yeah, that's a big one. And the thing about Massaria is that she's still kind of trying to, even though she is in the good graces of Rhaenyra, she's still trying to kind of like one up Damon. You know what I mean? Like, hey,
Yeah.
like I'm better than him. Like, give me more to do. So you would think that she would have just dropped that to her immediately. So I don't know what her play is. You know, you always got to keep something in the back cards in case something goes wrong. You always got to throw someone in the dungeon as a gift to somebody if they ever return to the capital. You know, so
Yeah. A lot moving there. And we've been largely kind of out of Rhaenyra's like purview versus the beginning of the season.
right,
So there's a lot of like other moving parts. So it's gonna be interesting when Rhaenyra finally like everything clicks and like she makes her move. Like she's mostly just been being frustrated, and we've just been seeing how everyone's been kind of moving around her. So we always know once we turn back to the Dragon Queens, like fire may rain. So
yeah,
we shall see.
hmm
Um, yeah. What was the other thing? It escapes my mind. So many little things like kind of like bleeding through these episodes.
yeah. I have to point out this is totally not really even worth talking about. I just thought it was hilarious. Is Tylan digging the hole for the body? He's like
Oh yeah,
exhausted. And he's like, you got to dig deeper. And he's like, it's fine. And then he rolls the body into the hole, and it's like not even 6 inches deep.
dude, it's nowhere near deep.
It was so funny.
That
I
is
was
such.
like, that's such a Lannister thing, dude. Like,
I mean, that is such a sad gaggle of like
it really
lords
is.
there.
Yeah.
Where you have like the like begrudged, never wanted to be king fleeing. You have the cripple Laris, who is of a noble family, but largely just overshadowed and incapable beyond like Master of Whispers. And
Yeah.
then you have Thailand, who is before Ormond was like of the most kind of bougiest, like proper, like
Yeah.
fancy lords, as some would call them, the fancy lords in their fancy castles.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was funny. I didn't even think about like Thailand totally would not dig a
Right.
very deep grave before being done.
Yep. Yep. It lined up so perfectly.
I was like, dude, like there's barely enough dirt to cover the guy. Of course, the dogs
Yeah.
are gonna find him.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad Thailand's back. We were kind of thinking about that. Um, but yeah, I'm excited. I am curious of why he went in the direction he did. Like, I would have probably just dipped back to Casterly Rock after that event. I wouldn't have went to try to find Aegon, but
I don't think he
you
went
know,
to find him. I think he just
he
kind of
just
ended up
stumbled upon. Oh yeah, maybe.
because they're near the coast there of the bay. And that's probably the direction they all kind of like drift to get back to like the King's Road and back to the inland.
Yeah,
So I feel like he happened to come across them and just, you know, by honor and maybe by hope of like, well, this is probably my best bet to like do something.
yeah,
But yeah, maybe at like this point, it'd be like, well, I'm not going to follow you to Essos. I need to get back to Castle Rock.
right, right. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a sad gaggle right there.
yeah, for sure. Like the Three Stooges together.
For sure. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Aegon is just like he stabs that dude that comes up and like holds his crown. And I think Laris
Oh,
like rolls his eyes at him or something like that. Which I
yeah.
thought was funny.
I think
But
this is the last bit to like talk about, but um Hugh goes in, sneaks in the Tumbleton, right? Um this is probably like my least agreeable thing, but I totally saw coming. Like Hugh's gonna sneak in, he's gonna, find his wife, and he's gonna be like, "Oh, run away with me," and she totally just flips and like has this sort of irrational response. I get it, but I don't. Like, you're mad at him because he has been off riding dragons,
yeah.
and
I mean, I
trying to make a better life for y'all. I mean, I get it, and I don't. It's just, I get she's been through it.
yeah, she's been through it, and I think that's the main problem. Clearly, the road to Tumbleton, some things happened that happened off screen. Um, yeah, I think she's been through it, and I mean, he's like a big dude, you know. Like she could have probably used him during her
Yeah,
travels, and he just went off to do his own thing. But I do see your point as well, where it's like, but I came back with a dragon and I'm a knight now, and you could probably just shut up and come with me and we can have a happy life and we'll figure out whatever happened to you on the road. We'll find the people and we'll take care of them. But
yeah.
she's just like totally out.
Who are
Like,
you? You've
yeah.
changed.
Yeah. It's like, of course. Yeah. Yeah, I did find her reaction odd, but it is clear that she definitely went through it
Yeah.
on the
I mean, I
road,
get it, but I don't
and
like.
she's going through it in Tumbleton as well.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe have that fight like outside, like leave, get out of Tumbleton,
Yeah,
and then like smack him and like tell me he's a piece of shit for leaving.
that's her family there, right? That she's
Yeah,
staying with. So
that's one little trap. There's a kid, their kid,
yeah,
obviously her mother, perhaps the older lady. Yeah,
yeah,
it's tricky.
it's definitely tricky because it's not like she could just dip out. Like she obviously is going to want to take them with. But yeah, I'm curious to see how this is all going to play because I do believe, excuse me, that we are going to get a battle at Tumbleton, and I think that is going to be a storyline to be played during the battle.
Yes.
So
Well, if you kind of notice, we've gotten like hints at it per episode. An earlier episode, they were chopping wood and bringing logs into
right,
there. Now we see that they are setting up fortifications on the outside. Spoiler, we see it in the trailer, right? That there is a siege of Tumbleton
yeah,
once the army arrives from the Riverlands. So, like, yeah, they are gearing up. I like the little details and little progressions of them um, arming, defending the city.
yeah. But I can't help but think, that now that we're behind 2 episodes on this season, that this isn't going to happen till season 4, beginning of season 4.
The
Just because there's 2 episodes left, dude. The theoretically, this siege should be happening this next episode, but according to all Game of Thrones seasons, that's when the big things happen.
Yeah.
So
And the other issue is like Hugh and the drunk Ulf. Ulf obviously is like a bag in the wind. He could flip for a pint of ale at this point.
yeah, right.
It's funny when Damon found him down in
Oh
the
yeah, yeah. That's the other thing is like he's the biggest wild card. If anyone's like he's certainly flipping, I think, without question, because he has just been getting it from that side of the aisle. You know what I
yeah.
mean? He
I mean,
gets it from
there's
Rhaenyra. Damon beats him up in the alleyway in
just
episode 5 or
smacks the
6.
shit out of him all the time. But Ulf is in Tumbleton, and like there was potentially that was like she was screaming at him, and they were like kind of having a physical altercation in just the streets of Tumbleton. I was like, dude, he was about to get like snatched. Like you're on thin ice, bro.
Yeah, I wouldn't be. Yeah, I wouldn't be out in the city talking about that kind of stuff for sure, dude. Like, oh,
Yeah.
you ran away and became a dragon rider.
Yeah.
She's like around all the enemy that's trying to.
Right.
Yeah, it's just poor timing. You're right.
Yeah. So he's at risk. Maybe not from a flipping, but he might get captured. I don't know. There's a lot of squirrely things. And if Rhaenyra gets any hint of like all this stuff just being out of place, she's just gonna burn something.
Yeah.
She just burned Tumbleton, man. Like, just
Yeah.
do it.
I mean,
Could have been done with it.
she's been patient, you know.
Ugh,
She's been as patient as she can be.
Damon's not wrong.
No, he's not. He's not wrong.
It's like,
And I
bro, we
think
have
that
6 dragons. Just end it now. Give these dragon riders some castles and keeps, and let's be
yeah,
done.
yeah. And you have to think you don't want to wait for the other side to get an advantage on top of you. Right now, they really don't have any advantage on top of them. They're low on dragon riders. They're low on dragons in general. They're kind of spliced across the map. You know, we have Aemond over in Harrenhal. We have Aegon or
And
in the Riverlands or wherever he is.
and that's the crazy thing too. Like, and it's I think part of the craft of the show and the storytelling is, like Rhaenyra, like, as a viewer, you're kind of paranoid for the first half of the season, trying to figure out like what's the underlying plot here against Rhaenyra. And Rhaenyra the whole time, still to this point, is like, everyone's working against me. Like, what is the master plot here to like undermine me? So I get why she's being careful, because it's like, Ormond's here doing this right at our doorstep. Vagar is MIA with Aemond, right? And like, Aegon is still out there. The money's all missing. That's always a Lannister problem. So I'm sure she feels like she needs to tread carefully and tactfully. But I think the reality of the situation is the Greens are all very kind of scattered
Yeah.
in terms of they're not unified. They're going to get an advantage eventually. So it's like, if only she knew, like, all she has to do is burn Tumbleton, go to Harrenhal, just kill a Vagarless Aemond, and just ravagely hunt down Aegon. It's done.
Yeah. 100%.
But
Over.
she is treading way too carefully.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, she's treading too carefully. They're eventually going to get an advantage. I think that advantage is definitely going to come from the kind of peasant storyline that we have going on here. Clearly, dude. I mean, to take, I mean, there was like what 6 or 7 gold cloaks at that dinner table feast for traders. Like that takes some strength to
Yeah.
overpower those kind of guys. So this isn't a small group of people. Also, I have to point out the stab into the ear Damon does on the one guy was like, oh my gosh.
I know. It's
like brutal. Yeah, and then after I watched that episode, I started watching the new Scream movie, and there's a similar scene there where he gets stabbed in the eye, and it turns his eye, like it twists his eye as the blade's going through. It's like, oh my gosh, too many stabbing in the side of the head, but the ear, dude, yeah, that's brutal. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think this is like a total, like the peasantry is just in on it? It's got to be a large contingent of people pulling this off.
Yeah, I still don't fully understand how Ormond's able to do that. Like, there has to be some other like force he's working with, like a group. Like, I don't know how he just simply instill, like, maybe the peasantry is that upset at her and it's just that easy to rally them in such a way. It's just very organized. I mean, it took a literal cult faction of Sons of the Harpy in Game of Thrones to like pull off a similar but not even that intricate version of this, where they were actual like nobles of where they could cooperate and coordinate and do this in a foreign, like, they were occupiers of a foreign city similar to this. But yeah, I don't know, like, they're just working over the gold cloaks. And
it seems it seems weird, and maybe the cell was just Ormond giving him this bag of money that is really has no value at the current moment. It's got a face of a king that's never been the king on it. But just the fact that they lived through the blockades and they know that
Yeah.
these two sides over here are really, and really Rhaenyra is the reason that the blockade even happened. But
Ormond. Where's the treasury money? I mean, Ormond has this goal to be
yeah,
making these coins.
yep,
Like maybe he was like, yo, I have all the money, peasants. Like it's all good if you just kind of do the work.
yeah,
So yeah, it would
yeah.
be easy to pay a bunch of disgruntled peasantry to do some work.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Especially when you're looking at it like that. Like we have this new king over here that is trying to, however he's selling it. We're going to come in and we're going to fix everything. These two sides are, the reason that you're in the boat that you're in today.
Damon just has to be like this coin, Rainier. We have to follow the money.
Yep.
Ormond clearly has the money. Let's just go burn him.
Yeah. I guess I wonder how he got said money. Was it because Allison seemed like she had no idea, right?
Right.
What happened to the money?
Thailand did something with it.
Thailand clearly did something with it. But I kind of like the idea of that's just how the Lannisters got their money. Like they stole the money from the crown and before they found their mines. That's that would be a cool little twist. But we have to tread carefully. We don't want too many thread lines going back to Game of Thrones. I'm cool with a couple of them. The dragons are sweet. The White Walkers would be cool. Thailand, getting the money, stealing all the money would be kind of cool.
Fancy lords. Yeah, a lot going on. But yeah, that is a concern. There is 2 episodes left, and a lot has to happen, or we're gonna like oddly coast into the end, and we're gonna feel like we sort of did. We'll have like flip seasons where they start off super strong, then they kind of just like tail off, and then it'll all pop off next season.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I had that concern from the very beginning once I learned that these were the 2 episodes that were supposed to be in last season, and I hope that they correct it somewhere. It has to be corrected episode length wise somewhere, whether that season 4 is going to be 12 episodes to really properly tell the story. Do not make the same mistake that you made with Game of Thrones, or we're just going to rush 6 episodes out or whatever. Well, I don't even think it was 6 episodes, the final season.
Tell me this, would you feel better about Ormond meeting his end this season or next season?
Next season.
But wouldn't it be like so short and sweet and like an epic character to have like shown up and just get like toasted?
My thing now is like the character, my Otto was my favorite character on the show. He's dead. There's so many of the good characters are dying. I have concerns for Corlys. I didn't like Kristen Cole at all, so I didn't really miss that one. But yeah, there's just now I'm like grasping on to Ormond because I'm like, he's a really cool character, and there's just a lot that could be unpacked there. But it could be a nice quick storyline for one season. Like he's the big bad of the season.
Right. But ultimately he doesn't have a dragon. I mean, kind of does, but like the big wipeout's going to come from a multitude of other places that are kind of out there. And not to mention Rhaena is in trouble up in the reach, not the reach, the Vale.
Slapped across the face.
Yeah, she got in trouble.
Dude, the moon door thing was hilarious. I thought, dude, like always fascinating to watch, or whatever she says.
So weird.
So weird, dude. That whole family is so weird. They do a good job, really good job on the show of just making it feel like, oh yeah, those are definitely the family from Game of Thrones. Same bloodline. You can tell whether it's the Lannisters, and I think that's why Ormond sticks out so much is because we don't have that, and
we don't
know what the high towers are.
And that's why Otto is always so good. Like, and that's why Allison's cool too. Like all of them, even Gwaine. I love Gwaine. He's a great character. So yeah, the high towers are. We're kind of getting a nice one and done on the high towers in this series.
Yeah, I'll just be curious because the perks of not reading the book is because we don't know where we're going. We don't know where we're going. We don't know. We know the Targaryens end up on the throne, obviously, because they continue on, but we don't know which Targaryen that's going to be on the throne at the end of the show. I have deep concerns for this episode problem. I have deep concerns for it, and it has to be corrected by either cutting something out, which they might do, like you said, they might cut. Maybe Aemon's storyline was supposed to be way bigger than it ended up being in this season.
This is true, yeah.
Or other storylines, but it's just got to be corrected at some point, and whether that comes out in whatever season 4 is at 10 episodes or 12 episodes, let's just finish the story properly. The show is doing well. Let's not make the same, let's not repeat history and be like, okay, we're going to do 4 episodes or 4 movies or whatever stupid idea the execs at HBO are going to have. You made a stupid mistake that is currently panned out pretty good, because this season has been very good because those 2 episodes were the first 2 episodes we got. But it's got to be corrected somewhere. We can't just be like, okay, well, yeah, we'll just keep doing this into season 4. And then season 4, we're going to be wasting episodes finishing the final 2 episodes of what would have been this, the penultimate and the finale for this season.
Yeah, I hope they don't. I really hope they condensed it somehow. But I don't know. I don't know what the main, well, I guess the biggest things that can happen is in the next episode, the Riverland army shows up. They besiege. They start besieging Tumbleton. And that kind of just has to come to a head in my mind. That's why I feel like the Ormond thing might wrap this season. Because the main cards to play, but I mean, Corlys, they have Corlys. I don't know. There's a lot of threads that are not very close to a decision. I feel like,
yeah,
I could see us not seeing Aegon again till the end of the finale, and like they're sailing to Essos, if they actually end up sailing to Essos.
I don't know. I can't see that being. Though. Yeah, I can't see that being the case.
I can't see Tyland going to Essos.
No, and I don't think that. I mean,
that can't be not the extent of Larys's plot is to preserve the crown lineage by just taking the king to Essos. Like,
yeah. It just doesn't. Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense.
And then, like right now, Aemon's parked at Harrenhal. Like, he just kind of made out with Alice, and like, he's just chilling.
Yeah, and I also believe that they're Aegon still has ties to because I do believe that dragon might still be alive. That whole scene was odd.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, the whole scene was odd that he had that reaction. We know that they have like a tight interaction between Ryder and Dragon.
Maybe that's how he ends up not going to Essos. Is
that dragon wakes back up, and you almost need it because they're very dragon light over on that side of the aisle.
Well, they need it. I mean, that would also be a catalyst too. Like if Aegon's back on Sunfire and like goes to Harrenhal, is be like, hey, douchebag brother, like get on, find your dragon, let's roll.
Yeah,
let's go to Tumbleton. Like, yeah. It has to escalate quickly. I'm not sure how they're going to escalate into these next 2 episodes, which makes your concern very valid.
Yeah, I definitely have deep
the cliffhanger is going to be a very.
I'm just worried that it's going to be exactly like last season. Now, granted, it's not going to feel as offensive as last season because we've got a lot this season. We got an awesome battle, probably one of the best battles in episode 1. Great way to open the series. Or the season rather. And we've gotten a lot throughout the entire season.
Yeah.
So it's not going to feel as offensive as it did last season where we were really coasting all the way to the end and then we just kept coasting right through the end.
Got good deaths. Lots of good deaths.
Lots of good deaths, yeah.
Very big characters, all that kind of stuff. So
but yeah, I do.
Daemon still needs his moment though in this season. He really hasn't shown out much other than like his initial entrance to the Red Keep. But like even that was only so grandiose for Damon.
Yeah.
Like we need the big Damon set piece. I
I
feel like
think I
still.
think that's probably going to come with Tumbleton. I don't think that he could avoid a siege. As soon as he hears about that, he's going to be like, all right, yeah, whatever's going on down here in the slums, I'll figure it out when I get back. I'm gonna go.
He's
I'm
like,
gonna go to
dude,
the siege.
he's like, that's a 20-minute flight.
Yeah.
He's like, I can nuke that town and be back by dinner.
Yeah.
And put my gold cloak on and go undercover.
The more I'm thinking about it, those eggs have to be Dany's eggs.
Right?
They have to be, because this is the end of the dragons. Those dragons aren't going to hatch, and if they hatch, they're going to be killed during this.
Yeah, ain't none of these dragons laying eggs at this point.
No,
unless that's what Vagar is doing right now.
Maybe that's what. Yeah, maybe that's what he's doing. Maybe that's. Oh yeah. Where did Alice say where she got those eggs?
No.
She just rolls up with 5 dragon eggs out of nowhere.
Just
like where those
come
come
from?
Harrenhal. Seems so weird.
Those Targaryens.
Yeah, sneaky little.
Bet Viserys had no idea. His dad, though, probably put him there.
Yeah, yeah. During his little council in the first, just dropped him off.
Well, we will see. We will see. Excited to know where we end, as epic or lackluster as it may be.
Yeah, we'll see. I have an opinion on where it's going to go, but I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah. I want to see Ormond complete a full character cycle here in just
one season. Yeah.
Yep, one season. But I'll see like Darren and Gwaine survive. I think that would be the play.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I really like Gwaine. So he's a cool character. He was smart for leaving Cole. He got the vibe. He's like, Cole, you suck, bro. Like, you're crazy.
He read it just like we did.
Cole took it to the head. All right. Anything else?
Nope.
Cool. Well, Sunday will be here before we know it. It is Wednesday. So we'll be back next week, promptly this time, for episode 7 and a penultimate. I guess the biggest surprise is if they add 2 more episodes to the season and like we're right back on track, perhaps. But hopefully keep this gravy train going and we can get to the end and see some dragons.
Yeah, I think they're coming. Hopefully. Maybe episode 1 of season 4, but we'll see.
Yeah. Oh, and other behind the scenes note: the game they're playing, Ormond and Darren. It's a game that George made up.
Oh, really?
He never established any rules. He just referenced 2 real board games as like inspirations, but it's basically his version of the game they play in Star Wars, like the chess version of that.
Yeah.
Plus Witcher, right? Well, it's like a ship. It's like it's a battleship thing where it's like you can't see, then it opens up and you can see the whole board. But Darren like moves his dragon, and you have to be very careful like when you play your dragon in that game. And they were like kind of like this whole season, like everyone's just like waiting to play when do I use my dragon?
Yeah.
When do we use our dragons? So, I mean, Aemon knew when to use it. Go to Harrenhal, breathe some fire on these fools. That's the only real dragon activity we got. Well, outside of the first ships and all that stuff. But alrighty, until next time. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great evening.